Welcome back to the fish room. I've shown you in previous videos how I receive my blackworms, and I've shown you how I store my blackworms. Today I'm going to go over a couple techniques on how to feed the blackworms. Now your techniques will vary a little bit depending on the fish you're trying to feed. Always remember, blackworms are very high protein, so you need to feed sparingly with any type of omnivorous fish. When you're getting ready to feed your blackworms, you want to make sure to rinse them. These have been in the container about 24 hours, but we can see this water's not perfectly clear, and I definitely wouldn't drink it, and I wouldn't want to fill my house with it. So we'll treat them just like they just came in, and we'll rinse them till we have a nice clear water. Now when you're preparing to feed your blackworms, you need to think about who your target feeder is. Are you trying to feed cichlids? Are you trying to feed cories? You know, think about where the fish normally feeds, and that's the area you want to feed. Now, even though we've rinsed these very well, we do not want any of that water in our tank. So what we'll do is we'll take a fine net and our cup or our hands, whichever we prefer, and we're going to scoop up a bunch of blackworms and put them into the net. We're going to let as much of that water run out. From here, you walk to the fish room with your cup, and you're ready to feed. The first thing we're going to feed are 3 of the only cichlids I have. I have 5 total. The angelfish. Now we have our cup with our blackworms. What we also want to do is either use a feeder, which you can buy online, or I just use a coarser net. I'll pinch that and put that net into the tank and kind of pinch it in place. I'll then, because I don't care, grab a little pile of worms and drop them into the net. Now I have catfish in there that'll eat up any worms that get down to the substrate. Again, they make several floating feeders that you can buy. A coarse net works just as well. Especially if you have a cleanup crew of catfish down there, they'll clean up any worms that didn't get eaten. Somebody on one of the Cory Facebook pages asked me if I thought blackworms were that much more effective than bloodworms or pellet foods as far as conditioning and triggering cories. My response was yes, not only because of the fact that they're a live, more natural food, but because of how I feed. I sent him a picture and he referred to it as carpet feeding, which is a pretty good term. I think carpet bombing is probably even better. Now these cories will eat as many worms as they feel like today, and there will be leftovers tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. When the tank starts to look a little thin, I'll bomb them again. I'll also couple this with water changes. I'll start changing a lot more water. Generally, when the rain season comes, the rain season brings rains, which wash down lots of fresh food. And I think in a lot of instances, this gives cories a constant food supply instead of struggling for food and searching out every meal. So I believe this is a more natural way that they would run into things in the wild. This coupled with water changes will trigger a lot of spawning activity. Since these blackworms came in, I've had 6, 7 spawns, and that's been just exactly 1 week. These are Corridor CW22, a fun little elegans cory, kind of drab in appearance, especially on this bright white substrate. However, they do turn a brilliant gold and black when they're spawning. Now, because I'm standing here, they're going to be super shy. The reason we refer to it as carpet feeding is we can see here, about 24 hours after I fed, the blackworms make a carpet of red, sticking their heads out of the sand. This is home to Corydorus robustus. Big fish, big appetites. Gives you an idea of how much I've been feeding. This concludes our series on blackworms. Remember, we need to keep our blackworms in fresh, well-oxygenated water. Keep them clean, especially right before feeding. When you're feeding, you want to feed based on what type of fish you're feeding. If it's a surface feeder or a midwater feeder, use a surface feeding type device or a net as shown. And if it's a bottom feeder, we can go ahead and throw them in there. Remember, you have to know your fish and its diet. Be careful with your herbivores and your omnivores, because too much protein can cause them issues. Check back, I've got several other videos I'm working on. Check out MBM Aquatics on Facebook, and check out mbmaquatics.com for some tank raised top shelf bottom feeders. Remember, keep your hands wet.